All right, just running through it, doing another run through of Room 25, and that's a victory condition. I don't actually need to play out the full scenario. I know that's achieved victory, but dang, that was some good problem solving. It's my third turn through on a solo mission. Um, Before I actually achieved victory. Second game was rather brief. I think I uncovered 4 tiles before I accidentally walked into a instant kill, which knocks me out, but that's life. I have to say I'm enjoying the little puzzly element of it. I like the way the tiles work. I like how everything slides. I like it. It's a little bit cumbersome to use, but I am enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to actually playing this with some people and seeing how the programming element of it works. One of the things I'm trying to do is to try and be intentional with my game testing. So, I mean, one of the purposes of tonight was to try and understand how these co-op games work and why they work the way that they do. So I went into it with the intention of trying to ask a few questions, which I'll try and answer here now, just to get a sense of what I think of this game, Room 25, which I didn't really know about until a couple of weeks ago. I have to write a review for Game at Palooza, and I've been trying to get it played with people. At this stage, as you can tell, I've only done the single player, but loving it. Like, really, I'm enjoying it. Like, I haven't even gotten the expansion out yet. I've got the expansion there as well as the base set to play, and just enjoying the base set, having a lot of fun. So, but that might change with the full player experience. But at the same time, I think there's a lot that I think that might add to the complexity. Actually, I mean, my first question was that I went in with it was how does the board layout, and I spoke a little bit about board last time. How does the board layout and design impact player decision making? And I think it does have that puzzly element to it. Like there's a lot of trying to take unknown to known information. You're trying to use each room effectively. When I first looked at the rooms, I thought, well, that doesn't look so hard. There's only one instant kill room, and the others are quite easy to plan around. But at the same time, when you get into the depth of the game, you have to, for instance, the big one is when you find the exit room and everyone has to rush to the exit room. You're really limited in what you can do, and those rooms can become a hindrance really quickly. So I think the player decision making becomes a big factor, and in some sense, like as a single player, I'm trying to puzzle through as best I can how I can work a way around these rooms, knowing that every time I step into a room, the room's power will activate as well. Or there's one room that once you've left it, it becomes blocked. And then there's a room that if 2 people walk into, then the first person who's in there gets killed. So, sorry, I'm still very congested at the moment. It's not great, but yeah, so I really think the rooms are very, having played it now, I actually think it is a lot more well planned than I thought. And although it's very simple in design, I like it. I like the fact that you really are trying to think ahead, trying to think through how to use every mechanic in the game to your advantage. Second question I asked was how does the board design impact player interaction? And again, it becomes very clear very quickly that you're not getting out without the help of the other players. Like I thought when I read the rules state that you cannot get out without everyone in the room. And I thought that was about trying to give people reason to get into the room together. I thought that was the impetus. Like when I thought about what made this a collaborative game, was it the actual game mechanics or just that condition? Initially, I thought that's the condition that means that everyone has to work together, so I thought that was really weak. But having played it now, I realised that that's actually stopping players from just trying to end the game without other players, which seems optimal sometimes. You sit there thinking, geez, it's really too hard to get that last player there. I wish we could just leave without him or her. So that's actually just putting an extra limitation on the game, because there's no way you can achieve even, you just can't win the game without each other. So it's interesting in that way. Like, you need each other to find the room in time. You need each other to get people around to the room. But then, because everyone has to leave together, you need each other to get each other to the room. And it becomes really heady. So I really like that. I like that. How is collaboration encouraged or designed into the game? Is it effective? Well, I think I just covered that really. Like, the board really pushes players to work together. You have to think around the board. But I think it's more than just. I know that you have to leave with everyone, but if you didn't have that rule there, I actually think the game wouldn't be as interesting. It would just be 4 people trying to scurry through. You wouldn't have a chance of getting through. Like, you barely have the using all 4 people. You barely have the ability to search all 4 corners of the square board. And you sort of need all 4 players to go off and search. If it was every person for themselves, then it would come down to the luck of whoever went the right direction, and you'd all go different directions anyway, because you wouldn't risk it. You wouldn't risk the chance of everyone going one direction, and then that just being the only direction you get to go, and everyone loses. So, yeah, I think it's necessary. I think the only way to solve the game is by working together. So I think the puzzling aspect, the fact that you've got a time count, you've got a timer going, those players, you've only got so many moves, so many turns to actually get out of the game. It puts the pressure on all the players to work together. I like that. What experience is the game trying to create for players? Is it effective? Well, I think the experience is... that's a bit more challenging. The conceit is that you're trying to escape. The theme is sci-fi, kind of, as I mentioned last time, it's that the cube, it's that sci-fi dystopian element. So you've got that sort of, there's a pretty horrible experience to be in, and so you want to escape. You've got that pressure to escape. The conceit is that you're in a game show set in the future, which isn't great. Like, it's kind of done. We've seen that with what's that book series? Didn't I have this problem last night? What's that book series where all the kids, may the odds ever be in your favor? It's got the mockingbird. Oh, there's any number of nerds raging at the screen right now that I can't remember the name of the book series. I know the kids at work would hate me for it. They'd be like, it's this, Mr. Adams. But yeah, I think the game does create that pressure well. I don't really care that I'm in a game show. For me, it's just the situation's horrible enough. I want to get out. Every turn could kill me. So I guess it's effective in that, in creating that sense of urgency to try and escape. Yeah, I think that's the experiences, that rat in a cage experience, and I think it is effective in creating that. I think it does that both through the timer, the pressure of the timer, the limitation of the moves. So each character has only 4 moves, and you can't do the same move twice, which is just a killer of a limitation, really. But it works. It helps create that pressure of, how do I have to think creatively to get out, to solve the game. So I really like that. But it's interesting to me, because I wonder if there was a way, if each character could have an ability of something that would make them unique. Because at the same time, you sort of just play these vanilla characters. The characters themselves don't matter. You could just essentially have meeples and it would work just as well. There's no reason, but I mean, at the same time, from a design perspective, yeah, totally. You want you know, you're going to want your character, because quite frankly, it personalizes it as a player. I'm that character, but you know, in terms of the gameplay, that's irrelevant. It doesn't come into it. So I guess you could think of some way of doing that. The guy's got really bulgy eyes. I guess there's something you could work on that there, but overall, like I like that. What I want to do now is I'm going to try and play Alien: A Deck Builder and see how the board changes that and what the player interaction is like in that game. Of course, I'm doing it solo, but the interesting thing with Alien is I always play it with several characters anyway, just to because I prefer doing it that way. Anyway, I'll be back soon.